I'm back again with another video. Okay, guys, so I need you guys to screenshot this. This is gonna help you get the system together. This is my tapering system, and then on this other clip, this is the taper transition part where it's like in between where you're trying to get that zero. That's what that is basically. Also, disclaimer in this video: I do not know what happened to the rest of the content, but we gonna do what we got. All right, so look here, I'm debulking everything. I did go in with it all the way open at first, so let's just keep in mind this blue one is equivalent to a 1 guard, and my red one is equivalent to a 0. So the highest guard I'm using on this cut is a 1. So I did go in with the 1 open at first, and then I went in 1 closed. So you'll see me right here going in 1 closed, and I'm just debulking. You know what I'm saying? Like knocking everything down to the length that I wanted at before I go in and start going up against the grain with my taper. This helps me get a nice level before doing all the rest of that stuff. So here we're going in halfway open to kick it off. And since we're halfway open, this is going to give you that middle range. So, you know, the only thing you'll be using higher than this is the lever all the way open. The only thing you'll be using lower than it is the lever all the way closed. So this is all the way closed. The reason why we're going to go in all the way closed after halfway open is so we can still keep our reference line there. And as you can see, I kind of put my comb on it where my reference line is. I'm not going any higher than my reference line. And this allows you to keep a reference line, know how high you want to go up on your taper, and then afterwards it still shows you where that line is that you need to clean up at. So now we're going in all the way open, getting that top line out of there. Sorry about that. But we're getting that top line out of there, transitioning everything to where it's blended just for the time being before going in and doing all the extra work. This does smoothen out the canvas a lot more, and it makes the taper transition look a lot cleaner. And it's pretty simple. You know, you just got to go over it a few times, a few strokes in different areas, knocking things down a little lower than what they were. And that's simply it, honestly. So now we're going to move on to the blade only portion. So this is where we begin all the way closed. This is the up fading portion of it. So we're going to begin it all the way closed and try and just scope out the line a little bit so that later on when we go in with our trimmer, we know where to clean up to still. Now we're going in all the way open. So this is going to allow me to know where my blade transition is going to stop at for me to go in later with my 0. Now halfway open is going to help me clean up that line in between all the way open and all the way closed. And you can see where that separation is because my trimmers are 0 gap. I do want enough space to where I can clean up into it and not create any other harsh guides within my taper. Now this is basically the 0. So we're going in halfway open with the 0. And this is just to help create a base because it's kind of hard to find since everything's been smoothing out already. All you're going to see that happens in this process is things gradually come together as you stay consistent with the process. So as you can see here, it's looking pretty neat. Now we're going in all the way closed. This allows me to see where I am at my lowest point, what I'm going to need to do after as far as detailing is concerned, but it's going to keep me lower than how high I'm trying to go. And I did go into where I created my halfway open guide with the 1 because I'm decent at flicking with no guard. So, I mean, with 1 on there is nothing for me. And this just was kind of bothering me. Thought I should just clean it up a little bit before I moved on. So on this left side, we're going to go in and do the same thing. I'm going to just speed it up a lot more. So we halfway open to kick it off, creating our first guide, which is going to be not the highest we go, but everything else is going to be right under this. So now it's all the way closed. And we're going to debulk a little bit with it all the way closed just so we could lay it down for whenever we do go in all the way open. It's a lot easier to transition into instead of having to try to flick higher and go higher in guard systems. No, we don't need to do all that. So now we all the way open, cleaning up into the the halfway open guide that we created for ourselves. Now this is all the way closed with the blade only portion where we're up fading. So it's blade closed, and then we're gonna go all the way into, I think we didn't skip it, we just didn't do it yet. So the blade is closed, and then we're gonna go into halfway open, which is where it is right now. I'm raking, I'm cleaning everything up, and then that last line, yeah, I did leave it in there. That last line I just left for the 0. So we're going halfway open, because this is a mid taper. So we're doing halfway open, and then all the way open. Just because this side, it didn't really need me to do too much work. So like when I did go in all the way closed, I was just notching at certain areas, touching it up. I didn't really have to do too much work, because before I did the preparation of just debulking it. So now we debulking again, halfway open. Then we're going to move to all the way close. And now we're going to debulk it all the way close. Lay all those hairs down. As you can see, that taper transitioning by itself. Then that's when we go in all the way open. You know what I'm saying? Because then once you go in all the way open, all it is just bringing it together. Now we close with the blade only. Halfway open. Just leveling up, flicking out as we go up, and now all the way open. And as you can see, they got that slight line in there. Really could have left them like that, but you know me, I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make sure you 100% before you leave my chair. So we went in halfway open, all the way closed. Now you see that line right there, something slight, all the way open, just to detail it a little bit, flick at it. Just to clean everything up before I go in for the edge. So as you saw, I did use my 0 and knock down those hairs around the ears a little bit. And this is the reason why. It's going to help me lay down those hairs on top of getting a crispy edge out of it. That's going to last them a nice minute. So just cleaning everything up, making sure it's all symmetrical. Getting my framework done first before I go in and clean up the back. And it's just based off of preference. I kind of like that line to kind of fade away at the bottom sometimes, depending on what type of cut we're doing. But yeah, that's kind of why I like to do the edges before I go in and clean up the back. So here's where the footage gets lost. It's a slight edge, you know what I'm saying? This video's purpose was mostly to kind of teach you guys how to add to your system to cut a little faster. Me, I'm able to cut, I'd say at the fastest... At the fastest, 25 minutes right now, just on the regular haircut. And then, well, depending on what I'm doing, maybe even faster. But at the longest, I could probably take like an hour and a half, depending on what I'm doing. But it just comes with the service, you know. And like this haircut, this is a basic haircut. We're not using any enhancements. It's all natural. It was just kind of hard trying to get like around certain parts of the edge because he just wasn't trying to pick his head up. But it's just whatever, you know what I'm saying? We're still going to get the job done. And you'll see in a little while the edge up, it still looked pretty crispy when I just did it with the trimmers. But I still did have to go in and do a little more detailing, which I wasn't able to get on camera. But yeah, like I said, this is for the tapering of the haircut. As you can see, his edges look like they got some type of enhancements in it, but it's just the way that the taper was done that made it look like that. And we did consultate about it. He didn't want to go into his edge up. He wanted to keep it as low as possible and as natural as possible, and that's exactly what we did. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is Jae The Barber. Stay tuned for more content, later videos. Until next time.